4.
Wait, I thought Seed was Code A. It was for a little bit, right?
Alright, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Is in the top right-hand corner of Daybreak. We have I'm Seed spawning as our pink Protoss player. His opponent down here at the bottom left-hand corner is our red Terran player, Mr. Thorzain. And Thorzain has taken 3 games. Well, he took 3 games from Cole MVP. He's already taken 3 games from QIM here in the Grand Finals. And Mouse only needs to win 2 more games of the next 7. Or, sorry, what am I even talking about? This game 4. 2 more games of the next. There's 6 possible games, I suppose, to be able to move on.
Indeed.
Yes. Counting goes away when you're casting for
that's
4.5 hours.
That's assuming that one of these players can knock out Mr. Thorzain.
Yeah, that's actually very true.
Who is currently just looking real good. He's playing some good StarCraft here. That's what he's doing.
Oh, don't even start me down the bad Southern accents. I come from Missouri. It's the only thing worse than growing up in a state that was in the South is growing up in a state that wanted to be in the South. So,
that analogy's great.
Yeah. So I had some interesting relatives from the Boot Hill in Missouri.
Oh,
they hated it. Well, visiting them down in Missouri.
Missouri.
Sorry. Anyway,
Mississippi.
Well, all right. So we have.
What's that you do for a living, Kevin?
You talk about video games. Vidya. Actually, it's usually VIDYA is how they spell it.
W.
Is that Vidya games? You talk about them Vidya games. Do you, boy? Why don't you go hunting once in a while? All right, so we have Nexus first coming out of Seed here in the top right-hand corner. Now, we've seen how Thorzain deals with this, as he actually, well, the last time we saw him do this against Cole MVP, he just bunker rushed. Proxy Rexed, and let's see here.
He could potentially do the same. He has saved up a considerable amount of minerals, and we do have a Nexus first coming from Seed.
Yeah.
Apparently, they were not watching the last set of games that was played. Thorzain sending that SCV to the same location he sent it in the last series where he built a proxy barracks, and he's going to do it again.
All right, so we've seen this work once. It's going to come up one more time, and to Seed, he doesn't know what's coming up right now.
Everything looks totally standard.
Could be 1-1-1. Could be gasless fast expand. He doesn't have a clue.
But a Rax on the opposite side of the map, and this is why it pays to study your opponents in tournaments. If you ever have an opportunity to watch a team or a player that you think you're going to go up against in the next round, you do so.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he would know exactly what was coming, because the scouting SCV came into the natural, revealed itself to Seed. Actually, might not have revealed itself. Go to the natural real quick.
Yes.
Oh, never mind. Seed had 2 buildings that were warping in.
Yes.
So he didn't actually have normal building vision. So he might not have even ever seen the SCV.
That's very possible, because especially the route the SCV took was right through here.
That makes Thorzain's build even cuter.
So let's see where this Zealot's headed to, though. That's the real question. Looks like he's just making his way up to the front.
And look at that Zealot. He's in for a surprise. He's got a Congo line of units headed his way right now.
All right, Thorzain's got to watch his control right now, though, and it looks like he is already pushing
trying to
back
trap
that Zealot.
That first Zealot.
We have a Stalker coming up as soon as possible, but there's bunker number 1.
And bunker number 2 is going to go down in just a second. We have quite a few Marines. He's actually pulling all of his probes off the line. Every single one. And they might get us around on the Marines here. This could be disastrous. I don't know. Seed might be more well-versed in dealing with this type of a build, but he's going to lose a lot of probes.
Yes, he is.
More Marines joining the fray right now. Can he hold this off?
We do have a Stalker up now, but it looks like the bunker's about to finish here in 5 seconds. So Thorzain's got to make his way over there.
Oh!
Seed blocks him. Does he get some in? Yes, he gets 2 Marines inside of the bunker. All the rest of the probes are now pulled off of the line. Seed down by 4 supply.
And that could be game. If he gets another bunker up here, he's definitely going to be able to take out this Nexus.
Yeah.
And he builds another bunker in the kitty corner there, between the gas and his bunker. He needs to be careful, though. A counterattack from Seed, if he just bypasses the bunker altogether and heads to Thorzain's base, he could actually do a little bit of damage, deny that expansion.
Oh, Thorzain with Q Micro right there lets his 1 Marine actually get injured, then swaps him out at the last second.
Thorzain should send his SCVs back.
Yeah, he's getting about to that point.
Yeah.
Because this Nexus is going to go down pretty quick. Do we have any other... Whoa! Bypassing further gateways, and Siege just going to put up a robo.
1 base Colossus.
Let's see what he's going to do, as this is awful risky off of him.
I mean, if I had to take a gander, I'd say one base Colossus or some type of Immortal all-in.
Thorzain, if he clicked quick enough, did actually see that Robo.
Well, he may have.
All right, and that Nexus is going to fall, so let's see here. This is going to end up being 2-gate Robo for the time being. We'll probably see a third one added in a bit. Identical worker counts for both players, but of course Thorzain now has an expansion and mules, and he'll be double producing workers, and his infrastructure is going to look great in a bit. So, Thorzain once again sacking another SCV, does see the full 3-gate Robo that's sitting there for Seed.
All right, so Thorzain knows exactly what's coming his way now. He has a 10 supply advantage.
I think he could have taken those Marines and, at the very least, coaxed out some force fields, but possibly just killed his opponent.
Seems like he's got phase 2 of this build down pretty well.
Yeah,
Head back,
and this is
Thorzain.
Thorzain. This is Thorzain we're talking about. He knows he's way ahead.
For sure.
He'll sit back, macro up, and just push out later.
Yeah, there's no point in taking any chances
Agreed.
right now. He could end up losing those Marines if they get force fielded properly or get choked off somehow. But now he has full map control. He's going to scout with this Rax, and oh wow, Seed actually doing what I feel is a more proper response to this build, and just immediately drops his Nexus once again.
He canceled that third gate and went right into that Nexus, so that's where he got some of his resources back. I was about to say, there's an awful lot of infrastructure to commit to. But according to Thorzain, as we see here so far, he's still... No, I guess he didn't quite get far enough to see the structure that was going up right there. But this barracks will tell the tale soon enough anyway.
Absolutely. And he also has a Marine there. Is that Envision of the Nexus and that pylon? Yes.
Yep, he sees it.
He knows the Nexus is coming as well. Thorzain just 100% aware of what his opponent is doing right now. He can see everything. Yes. I mean, there's no surprises here.
And let's see here. Oh, well, he was a little wee bit supply blocked. Had to call down supplies there, but not the biggest loss in the world. Let's actually see. He's got Stim coming up now. He's adding Marines and Marauders. And he's already got an engineering bay, probably for that missile turret that we saw up at the front. This is identical, basically, to what we saw against Cole MVP.
But I feel like Seed's response has been much more calculated. He's not that far behind in supply anymore. He has a natural up and running. He's certainly behind. There's no doubt about that.
Agreed.
But it's not to the point where he can't get himself back in this. He's not forcing himself into an all-in situation.
Right. And if Thorzain overcommits because he thinks he's farther ahead than he actually is, maybe he can catch him off guard, something like that.
He just needs to win one big engagement, and he's back in.
Definitely. And
or a little one.
Thorzain doesn't quite kill that probe. As it does go down, he does see that there are Immortals out there as well, so we'll see how his response changes, as we do have that starport coming up now with a third Rax. Yes, there are technically 4 on the field, but this one doesn't count at the moment. It's just being used for scouting purposes. And let's actually take a look here as we have gateways 3, 4, and 5 hitting the field at the same time.
That being said, though, the amount of control that this build gives Thorzain is just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, he has full scouting of his opponent's base. He knows exactly what's going on. He gets a beat on the Nexus at the natural, knows just when the natural was put up. I mean, he's keeping tabs on his opponent so well with that floating Rax.
And I definitely think you're right, though. Seed is handling this a lot better than we saw in the last set of games.
Yes.
As he does have a pretty stellar force out. I think he made a good decision going for the sentries a lot quicker this go-around, as he is going to have a ton of force fields at his disposal. We do see Thorzain going after his Ghost Academy at the moment, so we are going to see a little bit of tech here. But, yeah, Seed's impressing me with what he's doing. He actually has the same size force that his opponent does on the field. It's just that worker deficit.
Indeed.
Okay.
He might actually be going for a little bit of a push here around the back.
Yeah.
He's certainly committed quite a bit of his forces.
And let's see here as... if Thorzain salvages those, I will cry inside. Even though, even still with that, though, this is absolutely an anti-timing.
Oh, no.
Force fielding the ramp right there, and Seed is going to bust on through.
Oh, wow. Brilliant move from Seed right there. Is doing so much damage to Thorzain. Thorzain just moving out at the inopportune moment right there. gets force fielded once again, and this is not going well for him at all.
No, not at all, as he is starting to lose a bunch of workers back at home.
God.
That workers kill is actually starting to normalize a little bit, and we do have Guardian Shield going up. Very nice force field splitting those forces. Thorzain does move around with the rest of his around the back. Now the Zealots are starting to get in there,
dear
and
God.
there was that engagement that you were talking about. Seed obliterates that army.
Yeah, Thorzain is in a lot of trouble here. He just lost a ton of supply. He's going to be forced to lift off his natural. Those SCVs just sneak by the force field on the ramp, and they're able to get back into the main. Supplies right now hugely in Seed's favor, but guys, that was just Thorzain moving out at the absolute worst time possible.
Yeah.
That was, I mean, he might have been able to hold with those 2 bunkers and with his SCVs. There is a possibility to hold there, but now this situation is looking very grim. I don't know if Thorzain can hold on here.
This is really, really rough for him. There's still a couple of Immortals there. This is not a great place for C to engage, and smartly he backs up. If he gets the other way around, where Thorzain's forced to come down his ramp, and then he can trap half those forces, that's a little bit better situation. What do we have as a follow-up to this now? Looks like Twilight Council and Single Forge at the moment. Oh, economies are now evened up for our 2 players. Seed, in fact, going to be a little bit ahead of Thorzain, as he is the recipient of an actual second base.
Yep, and his army is just so much bigger than Thorzain's right now. I mean, look at that, just the raw power of the Protoss ball right there.
Yeah,
it's going to prevent Thorzain from moving out for quite some time. He might actually be able to get this command center here. It's going to be...
Yeah, it looks like Thorzain's going to repair on the other side, yeah.
Oh, and he stims everything there, trying to pick off this one Immortal. Looks like he's going to get it!
Very nice.
Very nice
little
indeed.
win. That's even the loss, worth the loss of a couple of SCVs there. I think Thorzain meant to pick up those SCVs and just missed there. And a little more energy out of those sentries, but not that big of a deal. Seed once again preventing that expansion from sitting down a 30 supply advantage for Seed. And when you think where this game came from, that's quite remarkable.
Yeah, it is quite remarkable. But, I mean, Seed really lucked out there. If he had attacked into those 2 bunkers and Thorzain had been in a defensive position, he could have pulled SCVs to repair.
Yeah.
I still think Seed might have been able to win that battle, but his losses would have been significant.
Exactly. I think it would have been one of those things where Thorzain would have lost 5 workers, but he would have drawn the army to a close, and Thorzain still would have been well ahead in the game overall because of how many workers he killed at the beginning.
If Thorzain wins this game, that is going to be a very impressive comeback.
Well, he's got his work cut out for him right now, because I think
certainly
Seed
does.
is way ahead at the moment.
He certainly is.
All right, so let's see. Thorzain loading up a drop there. Not a bad play.
That's a good way to get back in it.
Certainly, but it looks like Seed is on top of that. Photon cannons and stalkers in position.
100% on top of that.
Yep. He knows Seed is well aware of the ways his opponent can come back into this game.
How can Thorzain get back into this game? Drops.
Yes. And I've got some Templar out there as well, which you could actually warp in and drop down some feedbacks.
Yeah,
but
and that would be disastrous for the drop.
Thorzain says, nope.
Yeah,
and he's
not
out of there.
Any of that. I love that Thorzain was mindful of his medevac, though, and watching it on the way in.
Yes, definitely. And look at that. The SCV actually holding up, just taking the brunt
You don't see that every day.
of those Zealots' attacks.
SCV
Is that all
stares
you
off
got?
the Zealot.
Is that all you got?
Come on! Got a full medevac above me, and I'm good to go.
Oh, my God. Storm is going to finish up here in about 35 seconds. Shorter if that's actually being chrono boosted, which it looks like it is. And those Templar are going to have plenty enough energy. Thorzain, does he have any of his ghosts up yet? No. Well, there's 2 of them, but I'm actually not sure if they're walking across the map or if they're already in the units there. I don't see them.
They could be right there, a little bit below the army, a little bit below.
This right here?
There they
are. There they are. Okay. Walking back now.
Alright, so he does have 2 ghosts with EMP. He's going to have to hit some very important EMPs here. Hopefully he does. Well, it depends. He's going to need to hit those Templar while he's clumped, because he doesn't have enough EMPs really to hit all the Templar if they're split properly. And Seed actually just getting a little aggro with his High Templar right there, sending them kind of in on his own.
And let's go ahead and take a look, as there is finally a third base coming up for Thorzain at the moment. Seed, though, is about 50% of the way done with his, so they'll be about even. Thorzain may be just a touch behind with the time it takes to float over there, but basically a draw at the moment. Worker count is in Seed's favor, so let's get to cover the cost of army, and here we go. It looks like we are going to force an engagement. Those charge lots doing some damage, but now actually trapped behind the force fields.
Wow.
They actually didn't kill that many units up in front. Ooh, Thorzain eats a storm, though.
He certainly does.
Thorzain came out a little bit more cost-effective there.
Yeah, I think he came out okay.
One EMP went down. I think if the force fields had cut off more units and the zealots, because they were only able to kill like 4 or 5 units, and then Thorzain just started doing damage with the protection of the force fields.
Exactly, the force fields worked against him, and now he's engaging with only half of his army. Pretty big mistake there from Seed. Might lose quite a bit more than he anticipated here.
Yeah, that was a really weird engagement.
Yeah, I mean, he had his army split into 2 different groups, kind of sent one group in ahead of time, and then didn't really bring the other group in. And now Thorzain, getting a PF at his 3rd, is going to get that up and running, and he has enough ghosts now that I think he should be able to fight off this push. It's going to be close, though.
And here comes Thorzain with the rest of his forces. He's just got so many ghosts out there now.
One thing that's really impressing me right now is the patience of Thorzain.
Yeah, I mean, he very well could have said, I'm way behind now, I'm going to overextend myself.
I have to win a big fight.
Except I have to make something happen.
Yeah, and
but he's just relying on his macro.
Very patient.
Yeah.
And he's slowly building up a bio ball that could give this pure ground army from Seed, and also Seed not producing any Colossus. A Colossus transition from Seed right now would be great.
I agree.
Even like a 2 Robo Colossus transition would be devastating for
Personal
Thorzain.
cloaking coming up now. By the time that finishes, all of these ghosts are going to be maxed.
One of the great things about dealing with the unit composition that Seed is using right now is that EMPs pretty much counter everything. And here Thorzain goes. Is he going to get those EMPs off?
Once again,
finally, there we go.
Don't kill all that much, and Thorzain is actually able to get a good engagement from the other side. A couple of feedbacks falling down as well. But,
wow.
This has been more than enough damage from Thorzain. That was just, the force shields were not the best there.
And look at him dodging all the storms. He almost takes out that additional High Templar right there.
Yeah.
It will get morphed into an Archon as it joins up with its brethren. But Thorzain has his 3rd up and running here. He's worked himself back into this game. Supplies are tied evenly now.
And another thing that's working in Thorzain's favor, going back to what you said before and building on that, the fact that there's not even the threat of Colossi
allows you to
right
just
now.
Build ghosts and medevacs.
Exactly. Exactly. Here come the ghosts one more time.
Nice EMPs.
Yeah, they do drop down 1 or 2 more. He does
he's
eat
just
that
eating
storm
those
head
storms.
on, but now he's got enough forces that he can just crush his opponent.
Yeah, he really does. And there's really no way for Seed to get out of this. He does have a High Templar with Storm, though.
This game is actually turning out to be crazy because
Thorzain is up on supply right now by 11. This is unreal.
Yeah, so their armies are about the same size right now. He's going over to a 4th command center. His infrastructure looks great. Back on the other side, we've got quite a few gateways up for C, but he has invested not as much into his infrastructure as much as he has into upgrades. And I agree with you. Just the threat of Colossi right now would be able to force so many units, so many useless units out of Thorzain.
Yeah, I mean, it changes everything. Just a couple Colossus out on the field would change the entire landscape of this game. Thorzain obviously doesn't have that many Vikings out, actually none.
Yeah.
And his production of Vikings is what, a single starport with a reactor? I doubt he has 2 starports right now. So what that would force out of Thorzain, if he decided to switch over to Colossus, would probably force a 2nd port, and it would force a ton of Viking production for a considerable amount of time, and it would give Seed a window of time where he could actually do a lot of damage to the bio ball. And it never hurts to have Colossus in your bio ball anyway.
Agreed.
It really doesn't.
So let's see here. Supplies are about even for our 2 players. We do have a Dark Shrine coming up as well, which could certainly cause some problems for Thorzain, especially with the great economic rate that Seed is at the moment. But Thorzain looks like he may just want to attack. No, good preemptive storm right there, forcing a lot of those units back home for Thorzain.
Certainly. Now, we're getting into that micro battle that we do see here a lot of times between a Terran and a Protoss player. Double feedbacks go off.
Nice.
But so many ghosts. I mean, Thorzain just has enough ghosts that he can afford to take a couple losses here.
And there go down the counter snipes as well. Thorzain's starting to push his way up. There's the stim. He is committing now. And it looks like that base is going to go down. C just pulls back, knows he can't take the engagement, as is, and sacks the base.
Oh, wow. Thorzain's going to press the advantage here. He's going for it. Cloaks all of his ghosts. Goes in and snipes all the High Templar. He gets all of them. Now EMPs go down.
Oh, my God. And the front line of Zealots actually just dissipated. It's gone. But, however, I've got to say Seed has done a pretty good job because I think he should have lost more than he has right there. However, Thorzain comes out way on top, and it looks like he may try and press this home here in a bit.
Unreal. That was a huge victory for Thorzain right there. Denies the 4th, completely swings the momentum of this game back into his favor. Is going to get another Nexus here in the bottom right-hand corner.
Oh, and this is looking increasingly bad for Seed. We do have some Dark Templar that are warping in now. Do we have? Yeah, there's missile turrets sitting back there. That plus the Planetary Fortress is going to be more than enough for Thorzain to hold on to that. He has neutralized his opponent's economic advantage. He is now way up in supply, and it looks like he is going to probably PF this base here out in the middle of the map. Thorzain looking so good.
Yeah, Thorzain. Oh, and he's going to catch that dropship, the Warp Prism, en route to his base, so he's going to shut that down as well. Now, we do have DTs out on the map right now. Thorzain might have actually seen that DT right there as he dropped that refinery, because I saw the skeleton for that refinery go up, and look at the turret.
Now he knows now. Now he definitely knows that the DTs are sitting on the field. And let's see, Seed is mining off of, well, about a base and a third at the moment. Thorzain, on the other hand, started a new mining base. Yes, it's a relatively limited resource one, but he's still got a full mining base over here at the top left-hand corner, so his economic rate is actually pretty darn good as he starts.
I'm actually astounded that Seed hasn't made a Colossus transition yet. Thorzain even has weapons 2 coming on his Vikings.
Yeah, definitely. That's because he figures it's just going to happen.
A matter
sometime.
of time.
Yeah.
It's got to happen at some point.
Well, Thorzain actually not expending mules at the moment. I was just waiting for the mule to kick in, but it doesn't look like he matters. But he's a little bit mineral starved now. I just thought he was going to let that kick in. Here it goes, though. There's the scan, and feedback's hitting a couple of ghosts.
Wow, just dropping a carpet bomb of feedbacks right there, hitting all of the High Templar and snipes them out to boot. And he's going to pick off these Dark Templar as well on the way back.
That is a huge win there for Thorzain. He's back by 13 workers overall, but up by 13 in supply, which means his army is way bigger than Seed's. And this is going to get very bad for him. Now he's engaging in a favorable position as well. There's no chance that this base stays up.
I love how he actually ran up the ramp there and took the position before attacking any of the buildings.
All right, and Thorzain is looking so good right now. His 4th base has just been untouched for so long. The Planetary Fortress is there. These DTs are going to go down right away. 1, then 2 fall.
All right, here we go.
It looks like it's going to be one last-ditch effort out of Seed here in a bit, as his economy is going to just disappear soon, especially because he's out of this base now.
Yeah. I think maybe, Seed kind of letting Thorzain drag this into the late game made a mistake.
Yeah.
I think he was way up, and, he really should have pressed that advantage home and tried to deny the third and win one of those engagements earlier on. And now we have Thorzain in a very good situation. Might catch these High Templar. Oh, my goodness. Snipes 2 of them and hits a great EMP right there.
Yes, he does, as a matter of fact. So, once again, Seed needs to pull back. Thorzain just continuing to reinforce with another orbital command finish. Or is that actually... Oh, no, that was just his main. But the point still stands that he is going to have another base of mining here in just a second. Could cloak up these ghosts and throw down some snipes? No, just backing away to the rest of his army for the moment, while he re-denies the 4th base again.
Oh, wow, that 4th base has gone down 3 times this game. He does force a cancel that time.
All right, and so chat saying you can't kill the spoon, Terran. Actually, it says terrain, Dillinger. You may want to check your spelling. But other than that, yes, you can't kill the spoon, Terran. That point does remain. And here we go. Seed is going to be forced into an engagement here because Thorzain stims up. Here come the Zealots now. The EMP's already hitting on top of the Archons, and they all have almost no health left. Oh good storm, though. And Thorzain has to back up. Oh, another good storm!
I think Thorzain might just have too much here, though.
Oh, my God!
As soon as those 2 Archons go down...
He ate every one of those storms, though.
Yeah, he certainly did. But he's killing all the Archons.
Yeah. I agree.
And now he has enough to just snipe out these High Templar.
Yeah. And we're down 76 supply to 77. But, once again, Seed only mining off of 1 base at the moment. And it looks like this command center accidentally floated itself across the map. It looks like he did a rally point mistake there. Thorzain's got to float that back now, so he has not been the recipient of that mining for quite a while.
So Seed has worked his way back into this game.
Yeah, he is, well, tight on supply, and he has more workers than his opponent, so his army is a little bit smaller. But because of those storms and the fact that he has a lot more remaining, it looks like he should be able to hold on to this one for a couple of minutes now and actually get this base up and running.
Wow, Thorzain actually expanding towards Seed, really showing that he wants to bring the action to Seed's side of the map right now. This is going to be the focal point. It's either going to be this command center here or the Nexus in the bottom right-hand corner.
All right, so here we go. As Seed actually has a... oh, there we go. His base is revealed, as a matter of fact, but he's ahead in supply now, slowly but surely clawing his way back on these very, very high-tech units. And let's see, as this is... Nope, just an SCV running around. Didn't know if a dropship was making its way up to the top right, but no, it is not.
So we do have a little bit of a lull in the action here. Both players just kind of trying to secure what bases they can safely and poising themselves for the eventual big conflict that is sure to come.
Yeah, definitely. This base is now finished for Seed, so he has a 4th base of mining now. As it stood, though, he's not doing too bad in economic rate overall because of how many SCVs he had sitting, or sorry, probes he had sitting over here on the right-hand side. Looks like Thorzain going to make his way out, though, and Seed's army is pretty split up. It
really is. Thorzain could just pick it apart right now if he decided to do so.
And it looks like that may just happen. Thorzain sends out a couple of Marines. Oh, and it looks like Seed's actually going to take the fight to Thorzain this time.
I think he might have jumped the gun, though. The bottom group hit way before the top group.
Yeah.
Giving Thorzain ample time to get his forces in position, and he's dodging those storms very, very well. Takes position up in the back of the mineral line, preventing those Archons from getting to his army, and just sniping all of these High Templar. I think Seed had a chance right there, but
yeah, I do too.
I think he jumped the gun on the A move there.
You're exactly right. He engaged with half his forces and then moved in with the other half once the vast majority of that first half was already dead. So, looks like Thorzain is going to be able to take free reign over this base down here at the bottom right unless we see something warped in immediately, and I don't know if that's going to be enough. This base could fall very quickly. Seed coming in with a few units now, does storm up all of those Vikings, killing them all in the process.
Yep, so no more Vikings on the field. Not that that really makes a difference. We still haven't seen a Colossus transition out of Seed, which is strange because, I mean, just forcing the Terran into that mindset where he feels like he's playing against somebody who's consistently building Colossus just changes things drastically. As is, Thorzain can spend all of his money. Oh my god, it's a lot of chrono boosted gateways.
So much chrono boost. Yeah, that's a little ridiculous. Supplies are even once again, though, for our two players, and looks like the economic rate is favoring Seed a little bit at the moment as he is trying to retake this pocket expansion. Thorzain is starting to work through the minerals at his subsequent expansions and may possibly be starved out of this game a little bit quicker. Seed actually with a supply advantage now.
This is a really, really good TVP.
Yeah, it is.
It's
really
very
back
close.
And forth.
Yeah,
really back
close.
And forth.
That's a lot of zealots, too, and Thorzain does not have too many Marines in the mix.
All right, is he going to come up? Nope, just cancels his Nexus. He's canceled so many Nexuses this
he really
game
has.
so far.
If we counted up all the minerals in Nexus canceled, it would be kind of ridiculous.
Oh, once again, his forces are split up a little bit. Looks like Thorzain makes his way out with a few units, but he gets his ghost trapped for just a second. Observers are carrying behind as well. There go down the positional storms. We'll see if he's able to pick off those ghosts. The ghosts have started to land their chain EMPs, though, but the Archons sitting in the back are doing quite a bit of damage. Seed still retains the supply advantage there for a second, but as he starts to back away, Thorzain picks off a couple of forces that are retreating.
He might get that CC, though. Oh, the orbital was so low. He's unable to finish it off, and he keeps losing all of his High Templar on these pushes.
Yeah.
He might actually need to bring the spare High Templar that he has positioned around the map right now with a ton of energy. There's one here in the bottom right at the 4th.
Oh, the one all the way down here?
He has one. Okay, there he's bringing it now.
Okay.
So, yeah, he's just consolidating everything that he has because he can no longer afford to have units in defensive positions for either drops or anything that Thorzain might throw at him.
He's only got one mining base at the moment now. Thorzain still sitting on two decent ones. Doesn't have a lot of SCVs down here. Actually now down by 21 workers, but he does have 3 orbital commands on the field, so he's supplanting that with some mules.
And I think he just wants to keep his army supply up.
Once again, though,
really
Thorzain has not. He's moved out at the right time to take out bases, but he's waiting for Seed to come to him.
Yep, and now he's going to fall back, and Thorzain continues to work his army into really advantageous positions.
Ooh. Oh, Ghosts eat a storm there, but the first one actually affected more Protoss units than anything else.
Oh, wow. Ooh, and in all these micro battles, it seems like Thorzain is just getting off first in every situation, and, you know, maybe the lag has something to do with it, maybe it doesn't, but either way, he is just on top of those snipes 100%.
Yeah, definitely.
Continues to take out the High Templar, but Seed not going for feedback in the second portion of the game. He hasn't been feedbacking the ghosts like he was earlier, which I find kind of strange.
And let's actually take a look now, since it's pretty much just all charge slots and Archons. That's basically it. There's one High Templar sitting out there as well. And I can't help but think, go back to what you were saying before. If he has Colossus, or even the threat of Colossus, and forces more Vikings out of Thorzain than anything else, I think he'd been able to crush that force a couple of times.
Yeah, because so much supply is tied up in Vikings. If you know, even if he kills all your Colossus in a big battle,
yeah,
then you can revert back to this unit composition that he's using right now, and your opponent has 14 Colossus in the air.
Supplies are still even for our 2 players, but a 22 worker advantage now for Seed, and he has to back up because that force is just devastating. Look at how many ghosts are sitting out there.
14 ghosts for Thorzain.
Yeah, that's absurd.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
He's known for doing this, but...
Oh, yeah, but this is still an exacerbation almost.
Absolutely.
What we saw. Okay.
I mean, ghosts are actually
at a time.
Oh, there we go. Some feedbacks go
down.
down.
Perfect time. He actually morset into an Archon to eat more energy, actually, from those ghosts.
Very nice.
Uh-oh, but this is totally undefended, and Thorzain's just going to try and run in and pick off this base, and if he does, he does not have 400 resources at the moment. That could be devastating.
It certainly could, and he's going to get it. No, he actually pulls off of the Nexus and turns his attention towards Seed's army.
Oh,
wow.
But the chain EMPs are too good. Seed GG's, and after a 42-minute game, Thorzain has taken his 4th game in a row from QIM, putting Mouse only 1 game away from taking this best of 9.
Oh my goodness.
수상장